tithe payer, but you can't be just sitting on straddling the fence. You're either one way or the other way. And so when Dad was committed and I was, we went, well, Bishop Smith was very instrumental in helping us, and we went to the temple, and I was so surprised at all of the good people that went there that day, and your parents were there, and a lot of good people.
Who was there?
Dean and Helen
No,
Ray.
I know, but who would, name the other couples that were there?
Oh, I can't, the bishop.
Telford's, Fair Falls,
Yeah, a whole bunch of people. I don't know, I can't
Finlayson.
remember everyone.
Finlayson's.
Finlayson's, and then Dick was, I don't know if he was high priest, whatever, but at that time, they assigned the wards of each state so many temple things you had to do in a month's time. Well, we had so many to do, so he'd get us and we'd go, and I remember one time we did 5 sessions in the Logan Temple, and it was live, and we got up so early to go, and then got home, I don't know, after midnight, because you know, by the time you do all of those, and then still travel back to Soda. But anyway, did that, and then I think it was before we went on our trip back east, Dad got a call from the stake president, would that have been Hubbard or?
Reg.
Okay, and wanted to meet with Dad down in the building down on the corner by the church. Would that be the stake president? I don't know. Anyway, so Dad comes home. He said, "Honey, what do you know about this, the High Council?" I said, "I don't know. Why?" He says, "Well, they've asked me if I'd like to be on the High Council, but I don't think he was bishop. I mean, he hadn't been advanced yet, and I think he was an elder, maybe, huh?" And I said, "I don't know," but we had a few books at home, so we read through to see what we could find out about, you know, what you do. And he says, "I know that once a month I'd have to be going to different wards and then giving a talk on an assigned subject." I said, "Well, you can do that," because he was quite a, not gabber, but he was a good speaker, I thought. So anyway, we went on our trip back east and came back, and then he was put in. And then, I don't know how long he did that, and then he was asked to be bishop. He was on the High Council for quite a while, and the people on the High Council looked up to him. They respected him and wanted his opinion because he seemed to know quite a bit and had a good feeling about people and how to treat them. Because Dad was one that treated all people with the same love and concern. He didn't care how wealthy they were or what they had compared to the one person, you know, so to speak. And so then he was asked to be bishop, and then he I think he was in for 5.5 years or something. And then he had that problem and was released. And then he went back on the High Council.
What problem was that?
Oh, I don't know. They thought it was his heart, but at the time he was in Malad and staying at the motel because they had a trial over there. They called me from the hospital, and they had taken him to the hospital, and they had him wired or programmed or something with a hospital in California to check out, and it wasn't his heart, but it was this other business, you know, what was it, the renal, I don't know. Anyway, and so it wasn't his heart, and I said, let's go, and then he was in the hospital for quite a while, and then he came home, and I said, let's go to Salt Lake. Nope, because he had a fear of doctors and hospitals, and liked to pass out, and he wouldn't go. But anyway, he got feeling better, went back on the high council.
He told me, and I wish I remembered or would have written down, but he told me that he had a dream about that time, that he was on an airplane or something and wasn't feeling well, and some men came and put their hands on his head and gave him a blessing. And he really thinks that he's some,
Something
guardian angels that kind of got him through a time when
He-
it
they
probably was
want-
heart related. I mean, given what subsequently happened, it probably was
Yeah,
heart related.
so anyway,
Are you guys doing the video? Does Ty's Tom in here? Where are the keys? We'll put the video stuff over.
Okay, thanks.
After he had passed away, Mom, President Godfrey, the state president, had shared some comments.
oh dear, this was, right after the funeral, they had a luncheon for us. You know how they do in the church. President Hubbard took me up on the
President
stage.
Godfrey?
Godfrey took me up on the stage, and he says, Norma, I want to tell you something. And we were gone on our trip back to your place. And he said, while you were gone, I got a letter from Salt Lake, or a phone call maybe, and they wanted to get a mission president from your area. And he said, who would you recommend? And he said, I said Francis Rasmussen. He said, the only thing is, he hasn't been on a mission. And whoever he talked to said, that doesn't matter, because there was, at that time, I think there were 2 men on that were
Quorum of the 12.
Quorum of the 12 that had not gone on missions. And so he said, okay, that's fine. And so the letter would have come there, home, calling him on a mission. And so when this happened, President Godfrey immediately called Salt Lake and said, no, or we'd have gone on he would have been called as a mission president then. So anyway.
So, before we run out of time again, would you've expressed your gratitude for so many different things. Would you share your testimony with us, Mom?
I'm just so grateful that we got active in the church when we did, and all of you guys, and all of my posterity. I don't know what my life would be like, and maybe your lives would have been like if we had not gotten active. I don't know if you'd have been Mormons. But since this has happened, I'm just so happy, and I have peace in my heart because I know that things are going the way they should. And I'm just grateful for the gospel, for what it has done for all of us in our lives. And I know that God lives, and that our elder brother is Jesus Christ, and that if we keep the faith and do what we know is right, and try to help others and not always think of ourselves, but try to think and help other people at all times, we'll be doing the right thing. I say this in the name of thy Son, Jesus Christ, amen.
Amen.
Amen.